Yo, I'm gonna teach just the intro, obviously. So like at this, I'm gonna teach up to when they go. Anyways, I'm gonna just get into it. So there's three guitars that are being played for this a little intro part. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be only two guitars for the rest of the song. But anyways, so there's Slash doing the main riff like that, and then there's Izzy kind of playing little leads. And then there's the rhythm guitar, which is just kind of strumming chords. Anyways, so I'm gonna teach you Slash's part first, and then the rhythm guitar, that third extra, and then Izzy. So Izzy's gonna start off like, I'm not Izzy, Slash. He's gonna be using a delay pedal for the intro riff, like all that, And so he's gonna start off by just hitting the fourth fret of the G. Also, that main riff is muted, by the way. Like, it's all muted. You don't want to mute it too far, like where it sounds like to where you can barely even hear the notes. You want to have like, so my palm is like barely kind of muting it, so it can still kind of ring out, but it's like it's still muted. So instead of going like, can you hear the difference? I hope you can. Anyways, I know I don't have distortion, but yeah. So he's gonna be muted for that whole part. So it's gonna start with you just because before he actually gets into the riff, he just hits the fourth fret on the G. He hits it like a couple times, and then he waits a little bit, and then he hits it a bit more, like that. So I'm just gonna play it without muting it. And then he gets into the riff, like that whole thing. And so, yeah, you're just gonna start that off, and then the riff is just gonna go. It's gonna kind of be descending pattern from 4 2 on the G, and then 4 2 0 on the D, and 2 on the A. So it's gonna mainly be based around that. But the thing is, so we're gonna start with the fourth fret on the G. We're gonna pick it once while muted, and then we're gonna pick the 0 fret on the B. It's the same note actually. So like if you strum both the 4 on the G and the 0 on the B, they're the same note. But it's just gonna keep rotating. It's gonna go like back and forth. Like you're always gonna be jumping back to that 0 on the B string. But this is all muted, of course, so it's like that. So 4 on the G to 0 on the B, back to 4 on the G, and then there's actually a certain way you're gonna want to do this with your fingers. So I'm using my ring finger. You want to have your ring finger on the fourth fret of the G. So, and then you're gonna raise your ring finger and use your index finger on the second fret of the G. So second of the G to the 0 on the B, back to second on the G. So like that. And then you're gonna hit the fourth fret of the D, to the 0 on the B, back to the fourth fret of the D. So like this. I'm gonna play without muting it, but like while muted. And then you're gonna want to slide your fingers to where your index finger is now on the second fret of the D string, and then you're gonna hit the second fret of the D. So you're gonna hit the second fret of the D once, then 0 on the B, back to the second fret on the D, and then when you hit the 0 on the D and the 2 on the A, it's gonna be a little bit shorter than normal. So you're gonna like see how like here you go to the 4 to the back to the 0, back to the 4. You kind of return, But then when you get to that 0 on the D string, and then you're gonna hit the 0 on the B, but you're not gonna go back to 0 on the D. You're not gonna go like, you're not gonna do that. You're just gonna go, and then you're gonna hit 2 on the A to 0 on the B. So like this, like that. You don't go, because you're gonna keep those last two notes a little bit shorter. So like this. I'm gonna play it slowly without muting. So from the beginning. And I have my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, like that, and then muted, it's gonna go. And now the reason why it's important that you do it the way I did is because we did that once just now, and he's gonna do that 5 more times. So he's gonna do it a total of 6 times before we kind of do the same thing, but we change it up a little bit for 3 more times. But yeah, we did it once, right? And when we get into the 2nd time, we're gonna slide back in. We're gonna slide from the 2nd fret of the G to the 4 to start it over again, like this. Watch. See how we did that? So we just gonna, after we hit like the 2nd on the A to 0 on the B, we're gonna have our ring finger hit the 2nd fret of the G and instantly slide to the 4 on the G, and then just restart the pattern. So, you know, so after we go to 4 on the G, just instantly pick 0 on the B, back to 4 on the G, and then start it over again. You just read, and you're gonna do that 6 times. So the way that I kind of remember is because I don't know if you guys do this, but I kind of can feel like patterns a little bit. Like I'll play something a couple times, and then I'll notice I kind of feel like it's over. It's like when I played this, you know, intro specifically for Welcome to the Jungle, I go. And after the 4th time, I kind of feel like it's done. I just kind of feel like we should move on because I'm used to only doing stuff like, you know, most of the time you just keep it like 4 times and then you switch it. Like when you're strumming, you can kind of feel when you got to move on to the next chord. Like, you know, you kind of feel when you got to move on. And so so when I feel like I got to move on, which is after the 4th time, I do it 2 extra times. That's kind of how I remember, because you got to do that 6 times. So here, I'll just do it with me. And then I'm pretty sure that was 6 times. I kind of fucked up. I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, after you do that, then you're just gonna start doing this for 3 extra times. Which is actually pretty simple and it's way easier. So after you go for that last time, when you do it like just the intro riff the last time on the 6th time, you're gonna use your ring finger to slide in on the 2nd fret to the 4th fret on the G again, but instead of going, you know, going to the 0 on the B, you're just gonna strum each note 3 times. So like the 4 on the G, we're gonna strum it 3 times, and then the 2nd fret on the G, and then the 4th on the D, you know, to 2nd on the D. But then when we get to the 0 on the D and the A on the D, I mean the 2nd fret on the A, we're gonna hit it twice, like this. And then we go, and we're gonna kind of keep doing the same pattern with our fingers, like keep, so that we can keep sliding in, because he still keeps sliding in. So of course that's all muted though, so So yeah, you do that 3 times. But anyways, and then after that, you're gonna do this, like, which is pretty simple. You just strum the D chord. So that's, but without the high E string. So that's just gonna be 0 on the D, 2nd fret on the G, and 3rd fret on the B. So you're just gonna go, you're gonna strum that D chord, and then you're gonna strum the A power chord, which is just 0 on the A, 2nd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G. So, and then you're gonna go to a B power chord, which is just 2nd fret on the A, 4th on the D, 4th on the G. So you're gonna strum it once, and then you're just gonna keep, then you're gonna palm mute it before you eventually just strum it once, and then we get into the fucking verse where it's like, oh, I'm not gonna teach that in this video. But anyways, so yeah, that's Slash's part. I'm just gonna play it, and then you can follow along. And yeah, I know I fucked up. It's kind of actually pretty hard. Like, you're gonna want to practice it a lot. And I don't really know here. Like, I don't really know which strumming pattern is best, because you can just downstroke the whole thing like this, or you can kind of do this, where you just alternate pick it. The alternate one is a bit faster, but it's also a bit kind of harder to control, in my opinion. But if I were you, I would just practice the alternate one, because it's just faster, you know? So that's what I'm gonna be doing. But anyways, so yeah, after that, that's like all Slash's part. And then now for the rhythm guitar, it's pretty simple. You're just gonna strum a B chord, right? Well, actually, the thing is, so Slash, he does that thing, and then he gets in the riff. And I don't think it's until the second time. Like, we just did that twice. Like, watch. That's 1, and then that's 2. And I think it's when we finish the second time, time doing that riff, that's when the rest of the band joins in. And so that's when the rhythm guitar is going to strum that B chord. So I'll just play the whole rhythm part up until the end of the intro. So just going to go. So it's pretty simple. If you don't already know how to play that, then I'll just fucking show you. So it's going to be that same B power chord that we learned, and then an A power chord, and then a G power chord. A G power chord is just 3rd fret on the low E, 5 on the D, no, 5 on the A, and 5 on the D. So, and then a low E power chord, which is just 0 on the low E, 2 on the A, 2 on the D. So yeah. Just strum it once, and then you're going to start over again from B to A. But instead of hitting that G power chord, we're going to hit the low E power chord. And then we're going to hit that D chord to the A power chord. And then we're going to start doing that same, with Slash. With Slash, I don't know why I said it weird. And then after that, I don't think there's ever a third guitar again, but I don't know, I could be wrong. I'll fucking tell you when the next part comes up that may or may not have the third guitar. Anyways, after that, then comes Izzy's parts, which is pretty easy actually. I'm just going to play all of Izzy's parts. So yeah, it's pretty simple. So we're gonna start off on the D string. You're gonna have your index finger hovering over the 7th fret of the D, but you're not gonna be pressing down. You're just gonna hover it like. See, I'm picking the string, but since my finger is covering it, you can't hear it. So you're gonna hit it twice while it's hovering over the 7th fret, and then you're gonna hit the 7th fret of the D, and instantly hammer onto the 9th fret of the D. So like this. And then you're gonna hit the 7th fret of the G to the 9th fret of the G, and then you hit the 9th fret again, but when you hit it the second time, you're gonna bend and release like that. So, and then hit the 7th fret of the G again. And you're gonna want to add some vibrato every once in a while too. So from the beginning we have, and then you're gonna do the same thing where you hover your finger over the 7th fret of the D, and you hammer on to the 9th fret of the D. And when you hammer on to the 9th fret of the D, you're gonna pick it, slide to the 2nd fret, and when you slide to the 2nd fret, you're gonna hit the 7th fret. So like this. So let's do that again, the whole thing. And then when you do, after that, you're gonna kind of hit these little power chords almost. So what you're gonna want to do first is just kind of palm mute the 0 on the D and the 0 on the G, and you're gonna want to kind of hit both of the strings, mainly the 0 on the D, while they're palm muted, like this. So you're gonna want to hit it both really fast, and then hit this power chord, which is just the 9th fret of the D and the 11th fret of the G combined. So you're gonna go, and then you're gonna move. You're just gonna move a whole step deeper. So you're gonna have 7 on the D and 9 on the G. But like when you first originally go, you're gonna want to kind of strum it like that. Just kind of slide. So. And then once you're over here on the 9, on the 7 and 9, you're gonna kind of strum it real fast, but not, you don't want to let it ring out too much, because then you're just gonna hit another E power chord. But that starts on the A string, so it's gonna be 7 on the A, 9 on the D, 9 on the G. So from the beginning of this little power chord section, we got. I know, it kind of sounds weird. And then you're gonna hit the D power chord to kind of sync up with slash in the 3rd guitar. So the D power chord is just, so it's gonna be 5 on the A, 7 on the D, 7 on the G, and then the same shape but on the low E string. So that's 5 on the low E, 7 on the A, and 7 on the D. So from the very beginning of what we have for Izzy, I'm gonna play it. Oh, I forgot to fucking do that little mini solo at the end. It's pretty simple. So while the two other guitars are going like strumming that B power chord, Izzy's gonna go like this, which is pretty simple. So you're just gonna kind of descend. You're gonna on the 7th fret of the low E to the 9 on the low E, to the 7 on the A, to the 9 on the A, to the 7 on the D, to the 9 on the D. So to the 7 on the G, to the 9 on the G. So you're going to do that for these 4 strings. And then once you pick that 9th fret on the G, you're going to pick it again and bend upwards. So like this. And you're going to use your pinky to pick the 10th fret of the B string. Just the 10th fret of the B string. So like this. And while the 9th fret on the G is still being bent upwards, you're going to pick it to release it like that. You want to do it exactly like that. So and then you're going to hit the 7th fret on the G. So from the beginning we have and then you're going to just slide from the 12th fret, the 12th fret of the low E string. Just kind of, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter which fret, as long as it's anywhere from 12 to maybe 15. But 12 is always fine. So anyways, from the beginning of Izzy's part we got and then, the fucking rhythm. But anyways, so yeah, that's the intro for Welcome to the Jungle. And then I will teach you the rest in the next fucking videos. Goodbye.